This might be the most chill-looking but secretly brutal pixel art game you'll ever play. Kingdom 2 Crowns looks simple, almost too simple. You're just a king or queen riding a horse, handing out coins to villagers, and building little defenses, right? But here's the thing. Beneath that calm, cozy aesthetic is one of the smartest, most addictive strategy survival games I've ever touched. Think about it. No tutorial, barely any instructions, and the game just drops you into a dark forest with a handful of coins. That's it. No giant cutscene telling you the lore. No NPC yelling at you to press X to attack. You figure it out by actually playing. And that's where the magic kicks in. Every little decision, when to build walls, when to recruit, when to expand, feels way more intense than you'd expect. Because one wrong move, and suddenly night falls, monsters swarm in, and your carefully built kingdom, gone. And here's the wild part. The game makes losing feel kinda beautiful. Like, you'll want to start again, to do better, to see what else the world is hiding. And trust me, it's hiding a lot more than you think. The first time you load into Kingdom 2 Crowns, it almost tricks you. The pixel art is gorgeous, but not in the flashy look-at-me way. It's detailed in this quiet, understated style. Trees swaying in the wind, water reflecting the sunset, campfires glowing at night. It's like stepping into a moving painting, and it immediately puts you in this false sense of calm. Then there's the sound. You hear the clop of your horse's hooves, the soft rustle of leaves, the distant crows cawing. It's relaxing, almost meditative. And because it feels so peaceful, you don't expect the storm that's about to come. That's the trap. The game lulls you in with beauty and quiet, then punishes you the second you get careless. And what really hits is how alone it feels at first. You're just this small figure on a horse, carrying a crown, trying to survive in this massive empty world. No text popping up to explain things, no quest markers leading you by the hand. It's just you and your choices. But then the sun starts to set. The sky shifts from warm orange to deep purple, and shadows stretch across the ground. Suddenly, that peaceful silence feels heavier. The sound of the wind doesn't calm you anymore. It warns you. The first time you hear the low growl of something moving in the dark, you realize the world isn't empty at all. And that's the genius of it. Kingdom 2 Crowns doesn't scare you with jump scares or horror. It unsettles you by contrast. The more beautiful and calm it looks, the more brutal it feels when night falls. It's not just atmosphere, it's tension wrapped in art. So here's where the game really gets you hooked, the gameplay loop. On the surface, it feels ridiculously simple. You've got coins, you spend them, that's it. Flip a coin to a villager, and suddenly they're your archer or builder. Drop a few coins on a stake in the ground, and boom, it turns into a wall. Easy, right? But that's the genius. It's deceptively simple. Every choice costs a coin, and every coin matters. Do you invest in archers to hunt rabbits for more income? Do you risk expanding too far too fast? Or do you play it safe, building defenses and waiting for the night? And then comes the real kicker, the greed. These shadowy little monsters crawl out of portals every night, and they don't care about killing you. They just want your crown. If they grab it, it's game over. So the entire game is about managing this constant push and pull. Expand your kingdom to grow stronger, but don't overreach, because every night the attacks get nastier. But here's where things get deeper. The game throws seasons at you. Winter, brutal. No crops, no hunting income, and suddenly survival becomes a grind of managing dwindling resources. You also get different mounts beyond your starting horse. Some sprint faster, some have unique abilities, and picking the right one can literally save your crown. And then there's exploration. You're not stuck on one island. You can repair a broken ship, sail off, and discover entirely new lands with new challenges, enemies, and secrets. Each one tests your strategy in different ways. So, yeah, it's simple on the surface, but the more you play, the more layers unfold. And just when you think you've got it mastered, Kingdom 2 Crowns finds a new way to punish your overconfidence. Here's the thing that really pushes Kingdom 2 Crowns into must-play territory: co-op. On your own, the game already feels tense. You're balancing survival, expansion, and defense while trying not to lose your crown. But the moment you add another player, everything changes. Suddenly, it's not just your decisions, it's teamwork. One of you might be rushing ahead exploring, while the other is back at the kingdom, making sure the walls don't collapse. You're just two monarchs riding side by side, figuring it out as you go. Sometimes that leads to perfect coordination, and sometimes chaos. Like, why did you spend all our coins on catapults when we don't even have farmers yet? Kind of chaos. And honestly, that's part of the fun. Replayability is huge here, too. Each new land feels like a fresh puzzle. Different terrain, different challenges, different secrets. Maybe this time you push aggressively and conquer fast. Maybe you turtle up and play defensively. Maybe you try new mounts or focus on building ships. Every run feels slightly different, and every mistake teaches you something. And here's the sneaky thing. The game doesn't really have a traditional ending. You beat one island, move to another, discover new mechanics, and before you know it, hours have flown by. It's one of those games that's less about finishing and more about the stories you create along the way. Whether it's that perfect defense against a huge wave of greed, or that time your co-op partner accidentally doomed the entire kingdom, that's why it sticks. It's not just replayable, it's endlessly replayable. What makes Kingdom 2 Crowns stand out isn't just the pixel art, or even the survival mechanics. It's the way it sneaks in meaning without ever spelling it out. At its core, this is a game about leadership. You're literally a monarch, but it's not about barking orders, it's about balance. Every coin you drop is an investment. Do you protect your people, or do you chase expansion? It's a constant tug of war between ambition and safety. And if you push too hard, you risk losing everything you've built. That hits on a deeper level because it mirrors real life. How often do we juggle growth versus stability, taking risks versus protecting what we already have? That's why every little decision in this game feels so heavy, because it echoes choices we actually face. And then there's failure. In most games, failing feels like punishment. In Kingdom 2 Crowns, it feels like part of the journey. When the greed finally break through and steal your crown, you don't slam the controller down in frustration. Instead, you think, okay, I know what I'll do better next time. The cycle of building, losing, and trying again becomes oddly inspiring. Even the name 2 Crowns says something. Whether you're playing solo or with a friend, it's about shared responsibility, about protecting something fragile together, and the pressure that comes with that. And here's the thing, because the game never explains itself with dialogue or lore dumps, you end up projecting your own meaning onto it. The silence, the slow pacing, the way the seasons shift, it all makes your little kingdom feel like something worth protecting, something bigger than just a save file. Each new island feels like you're building a legacy, not just playing a level. And the longer you play, the more you realize the game isn't only about defending a crown. It's about perseverance, patience, and the quiet pride of creating something that lasts, even if it falls apart in the end. That's what makes Kingdom 2 Crowns unforgettable. At the end of the day, Kingdom 2 Crowns is proof that a game doesn't need to shout to get your attention. It's quiet, it's beautiful, and then suddenly it's brutal in a way that keeps you coming back for more. One moment, you're admiring the sunset over your little village. The next, you're scrambling to hold back a wave of greed that threatens to wipe out everything you've built. That mix of calm and chaos is what makes it unforgettable. And honestly, that's why I think it's a must-play. It's one of those rare games that will surprise you, frustrate you, and reward you in equal measure. It tests your patience, your strategy, and even your ability to stay cool under pressure. Few games can be this relaxing and this intense at the same time, and that's exactly why it leaves such an impact. If you're into games that test your decisions and hit you with that just one more try energy, this one's for you. And if you've made it this far, I'm guessing you enjoyed hanging out here. So go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe if you want more deep dives into games and pop culture gems that deserve the spotlight.